Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's request day, and today's map is exactly the sort of map that, well, I'm not going to say doesn't excite me anymore, but certainly when I started making this show, this was the sort of map that really caught my attention. I was big on it. I've evolved a little bit, but there's still a little bit of my heart that is tucked into this kind of map. Now, as a creator, we have done 4 times in the past, and they do pretty solidly. The lowest score was a 9-star, the highest was an 11, and everything was kind of in between. So, could well be a very pleasant, pleasing review for most of you today, for which I think a click of something would do. Right, the like button's a good one. Try clicking that one. That's a thing to pass the time. Have you done that? Have you passed some time? Let's crack on. Today's map is, and the description covers the pronunciation, I'm still going to get it wrong, Sebascodegan. Okay, island by Mytwo Centsworth. It's still going to be wrong, isn't it? It's still going to be wrong. There's your start square. We are talking national roads on today's map rather than big old highways. Terrain heights, it's pretty flat and makes it very good for building, and some very interesting shapes going on there as well, so maybe ferries too would be good today. And resources, it's forestry and a little bit of fertile. That's basically what you're looking at today. If you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's fairly bland, it's fairly standard, it'll do. Yeah, you're not going to complain about it. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Mass transit. It is a mass transit map. You will need that today. We'll be using the SCT Rocky Shore theme with a realistic 1.2 LUT. Catenary replacer is requested to have the catenary switched off. I forgot. So when we see the railway, we're looking at it without the catenaries today, okay? Plus a couple of trees there as well. Ooh, bridge to start off with. Let's have a quick look at said bridge. I think that's very nicely balanced. That's no, it's not going to fall over anytime soon. No, I think that's a fairly nicely balanced bridge. You can't go too far wrong with that one. So anyway, yes, my 2 cents worth is a creator. Like I say, we've done 4 times in the past. Those episodes were 781, 796, 882, and 1053, where they got started off with 11 stars. They dropped to 9. They're up to 10, and then they finished last time round with an 11. So they're a good, solid creator, sometimes excelling with something a little bit special, and but mostly you can expect solid standards and not too much wrong. Now, today's map is based on a real-life location. One of the bridges, at least, is definitely a pretty sound reconstruction in vanilla terms of that bridge. We'll be seeing that a little bit later. And then we have the big old bridge here. Everybody loves a big old bridge, so we come around the other angle to get more of a view from that angle. I think that looks perfectly balanced as well. I'm happy to roll with that one too. Now, you may notice we have some sort of water feature on the right hand side here. We'll talk more about the water flow maybe in a moment. But as you can see there, with all your sewage, just log it in together, pump it out to there, and you should be sewage free on the map. I'll talk about that in a moment anyway. But yes, the roads, we are national roads, which won't please everybody. I know there's a big chunk of you that will go, well, these are going to clog up really quickly. Well, maybe they will. Maybe they will. Or maybe you build clever, or maybe you don't go for the massive mega city because it's a weird kind of odd-shaped island map. We are, say, real-life location. From memory, was this Maine, the coast of Maine, or thereabouts? We're in that kind of neck of the woods anyway, and I think it's the sort of map that really. I started doing a map on a marsh, build on a marsh map before starting WhatsMap, and it was kind of the last straw for me. I was looking for a map that was going to excite me, give me something to really work into, and it turned out it was actually a very poor map. I don't remember what the map was. I wish I did. I don't remember at all. But yeah, it wasn't. At first glance, it looked interesting. And it had the same sort of vibe as this map, although completely different structure. I mean, that one was more lots of lakes dotted all over the place, whereas this is lots of massive, long inlets. But yeah, this is the sort of map that really excites me, and seeing it really did excite the heart, the loving nuptial in the middle of my body that goes, I love that. Some people love mountainous maps, some people love fantasy maps, a really good fantasy map. For me, this kind of map, the shape of it really grabs. As it turns out, it's an okay map. It hasn't taken the map to the next level, but it's all about playability, and playability is going to be the biggest score on today's show. If you're worried about those sort of things, here's the start square intersection. Now it's a crossroads. Well, we're just going to fly over that one. The roads give you access to these finger islands and outlying bits and stuff like that. So they're fine. They're good to go. They're you're not going to do anything different with the roads. If you reconstruct you might do them slightly differently, but I don't think there's really any other way. I've not checked to see if the roads follow those of the real life location. Maybe they do. I don't know. I wasn't so worried about it because the map for me sings not as a real life location map, but as an interesting build map. And for me, that's what this is ringing out to me. An interesting build. I thank you, Mytwo Centsworth, for doing this one, because there are very few maps with this kind of shape available on the workshop. So credit to you. Following the road along, we're going to come across a bridge in a moment, I do believe. Now, this is, again, based on a real-life bridge. It's been rebuilt in an update version. I went and had a look at the real-life bridge, and it is not completely dissimilar from this. I mean, it's not brick-built, but it's an interesting attempt at recreating the bridge. Certainly much more accurate than a regular pillared bridge would be. However, it could do with a little bit of fine-tuning. That said, it's fiddly. It is really fiddly. Look at me, still fiddling. I think I got it a little bit better. I think possibly the riverbed has to be perfectly flat for that to work. I've not checked the riverbed there to see, or the seabed to see whether that's perfectly flat. But I imagine that it is possible to do that bridge to a finer standard than we see. In fact, I more than imagine. I know it's possible. For me to do it in a few seconds there, nah, it's one of those take your time on. I mean, prop line tool wouldn't work on it, but just time. It's all about time, taking your time, and just enjoying it as you go. Here's your essential lighthouse. Isn't she lovely? Right at the end. Shall we go and have a look at the rail? Remember, the rail, we don't have catenaries, okay? Ignore these poles, they don't exist. I completely forgot. I made a note to switch them off in the mod, and then I just got so lost in the map going, this is amazing, I love the shapes, and I forgot. So yeah, bad things happen in my brain sometimes, or the lack of things happen in my brain sometimes. So yes, it's fairly I'm trying to find a polite word. I don't want to say boring, because it's really not a boring map, but it doesn't have bells and whistles. There you go. It hasn't taken we haven't taken the map here and made it fantastic. We've made it interesting and playable, and the standards are solid, rock solid standards. There's not going to be much marking down, if anything, on today's map. It's a question of where can I mark it up, and that's the big difference between 3 stars and 4 stars. 4 stars are the maps where you go, okay, I see what you're doing here. See, you've taken a lot of time to push this to the next level, or I see you've taken a lot of time and you've ruined this level and made it unplayable. So it's that balance. It's that balance. And I think what we've got here is perfectly fine. No grumbles about it whatsoever. We just follow the rail. Well, I say grumbles. That bridge could be a little bit more perfect, couldn't it? That cobstone bridge. I did read it. I think it's something like cob something. Anyway, that's by the by. It was a fairly boring route, I've got to say, because there's really not that much to see apart from lots and lots of interesting finger coastlines. And we'll be back after this intermission to check out the shipping, which might be a little bit more interesting. Or it might be just as mundane. Mundane's the word today, I think.
Do your cul-de-sacs look like this? Do you want them to look like this? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to the Perfect Cul-de-sacs by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Sebascodegan Island by Mytwo Centsworth. And shipping routes. We have lots of little shipping routes that go all the way down these fingers and enable you to get access to all the deep corners. Now, let me get ahead of the path here, because there's nothing wrong here. Everything's going to look fine. These fingers were always going to be a nightmare for water flow, because you get edge of map water flow pushing in and you get evaporation. The water evaporates off of the map, meaning that these fingers will need the water replenished, being pushed in from the edge of the map, cornering any sewage that you pump into these fingers. So, what's the solution? The answer, of course, is this edge of map. Oh, is this bridge high enough? I think it probably is, actually. I've not checked. It certainly looks like it is. But yes, we have some water flow. It's all pushing in from the edge of map in towards the fingers. Don't set up any sewage outflow on any of these, because you're going to end up with lots of brown stuff. We have pipes in place just entering the start square there, and these do connect down to the edge of the map where we actually have water pumping and sewage outflow, that little nest of sewage pumps right there as well. I think it's good to go. So yeah, this map it looks like somebody's dropped a big old pot of paint on one side of the map. It's just like splashed out, and I approve. Yes, it's a real life location. Yes, from a terrain height map, and I know this because we're going to see something in a moment. These are the I think these are mossy brown rocks. There's one of the few subscriptions. I think they look great. I don't think they add too much to the map. I think we could have easily got away without. If you don't subscribe to them, I don't think the map's going to look that much different. I mean, this island without those two rocks on it, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if it really goes next level, but look at this digitized edge. That is a surefire sign that this is from a terrain height map with some mist smoothing. And it's not just there. There are some other little problems. We have, however, also, if I can remember, in fact, I've got a little jump to. Hang on. Why is this going slow? Why is this? We might have to just skip it and I'll speed the speed up. There we go. Right. This island here is a little bit awkward. And we've got a few like that just under the surface. What's more awkward than an island just under the surface is an island just under the surface with trees on it. Yes, these trees have got their trunks on. They're going for a little paddle. And that's, I think, the only case of drowned trees I could find on the map. But they are there and they are splashing. Here we go. Another one of these digitized islands. It's very square. It's got a little chunk out of the corner, a little chunk added onto the other corner. And again, this one very, very clearly digitized as well. It's just a question of the smoothing tool around the edge, soften it all out, and you'll have a very lovely island to build on. As it looks, it just looks like it's unfinished. Just a few more seconds of the soft smoothing, and there you go, another one like that. You can make them out. You can make them out for yourself. I mean, sometimes you might actually go for that effect deliberately. I don't think that's the case with any of these. They're just very pointy and very pixelated. Pixelation doesn't happen in nature naturally, not normally anyway. Alright, hang on, let me come back into I've forgotten to do something, hang on. Bear with, look the other way. Look the other way. No, look the other bit. Not yet, not yet. Can you you can look back now, okay? Right. And onwards. I think we go towards the start square. Shush now. Bad editing. It's been a busy day, I forgot, okay? The catenaries and the editing. It's just yeah. Plus, I'm suffering with these flu-like symptoms from having that jab. You know, I'm not my best at the moment. But the show must go on, and today's show features the Silvermoonlodge, Albuquerque, New Mexico by Comrade Intense. Smiley face, unsmiley face. And I would say this is great. Now, ideally you want flatter land. I've just plopped this straight down onto the terrain. I don't like actually flattening the terrain for assets because it affects the map, and this show is more about the map than the asset. But if you imagine this is perfectly flat land, you've got yourself a very lovely asset there. And factoids, because factoids. The word denim entered the knowledge because the fabric originally came from the French city of Nîmes. It was originally labelled de Nîmes, or of Nîmes, I guess. So yeah, denim from Nîmes in France. Fantastic, and tomorrow's one looks really quite interesting. Okay, Silvermoonlodge, Albuquerque, New Mexico by Comrade Intense. Intensely our asset of the day. Yeah, sorry about the editing earlier. I'm not really, it's not really going strong at the moment, but I'm doing my best. What do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. Use it at the end of the month for the viewer's choice top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. What do I think of it though? Well, aesthetically, I like the design. I think it's very aesthetically, overall design is really pleasing for me, which pushes it up. But it doesn't sing. And I want to push it towards 4 stars. I just don't feel that I can. It feels very mediocre, but I do like the design. So let's go down the middle with the 3. But I feel I should go higher. Detailing, there's not much wrong with it. There's just a bit of smoothing here and there. Thing is, there's not really that much right with it either. It's just fine. Fine is 3 stars. Fine is the pass mark. Fine is you won't have any problems with it. Fine is good. Well, no, good is good. Fine is fine. Gameplay potential. I would be very happy to play this one. So it's going to be a little bit higher on my scale. I imagine it's probably just the 3 stars down the middle for most people, but I'm going to go for a high 3 because this is my kind of thing. Sebascodegan Island by Mytwo Centsworth. Very pleased to see it, and I'm not just saying that. I'm actually genuinely pleased to see that. It's my kind of thing. And do maps need to be polished to the nth degree? I mean, I've spent over 30 hours on my map so far, and all I'm doing is polishing. So yeah, maybe I should be taking a lesson from Mytwo Centsworth book. Anyway, if you're still here, you are part of the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day into the comments, score some population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Thanks for watching. Oh, we're still going. Thank you for watching.